Welcome to episode 2 of the AxD Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I'm Maithili, Chief of Strategy at AxD. This episode explores production planning for factories of the future. While buzzwords like Industry 4.0, smart factories, 5G connectivity, and AI ML driven automation dominate the conversation, the reality on the ground often tells a different story. Many factories still grapple with persistent issues such as inventory imbalances and long lead times. Even after years of effort implementing ERP systems, manufacturing data often remains chaotic and scattered. This highlights a significant gap in the industry: the absence of a standardized, robust software solution for advanced production planning. Today on our panel, we have not one but two industry experts. From Michigan, USA, once again, we have our chairman and co founder, Mr. Raj Batra. Raj is a seasoned thought leader, former president of Siemens Digital Industries USA, and an active member of some of the world's largest sovereign wealth funds. In this episode, Raj will be in conversation with our new guest, Mr. Keiji Fujii. Keiji is the owner and CEO of Asprova Europe and USA. He joins us today from Wetzlar, Germany. His company is the world's leading supplier for end to end planning and scheduling. More than 3,800 large and mid sized companies worldwide trust and actively use the Asprova APS software across all industries, including automotive, electronic, pharmaceutical, food and beverage, aerospace, plastic industry, and many more. Based on the Japanese concept of lean manufacturing, Asprova has a market share of 64% in Japan. Let us begin the episode. Again, thank you to both of you for being here today. I'm so excited for this episode because, Raj, Mihir and I, Mihir is the CTO at AxD.
Right.
We visited KG in Germany last year. And I was just telling him that we were both so impressed, not just with Asprova APS, the company, but with the passion with which KG talks about production planning and the need for APS in
Mm.
manufacturing industries today. And I just felt it's the right time to bring him onto the podcast and share his insights
Mm.
with as many people as we can. And
Yeah,
who
Mm.
better to interview him than you? So I think we have
good.
two industry experts today on the panel. So yeah, I leave the floor to you. Please go ahead and I'm an eager student today. I'll be absorbing as much as I can.
Mm.
So yeah, thank you once again for being here.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
So today, it's a great pleasure to welcome Keiji Fujii to our AxD podcast. Keiji is really a pioneer in the world of production planning and scheduling, and I want to highlight his expertise and capability. And Keiji, I just have to say, I know you have a very busy schedule, moving all over the world, but what's very important in is the $10 trillion that will be invested in this country in manufacturing and greenfield plants in the United States, in modernization in brownfield. I mean, America needs this technology that you're going to talk about with Esprova and advanced production and scheduling. And I want, hopefully, you'll be able to highlight why this is so critical. Maybe if you could give our audience, who are all sorts of people, from sovereign wealth. We advise a lot of sovereign wealth that has $1 trillion of assets under management, other companies. Obviously, AxD is a big supporter of the Esprova technology and what you're doing. And I just felt it was extremely critical to bring this to American manufacturing today. So, but before I go there, I'm going to talk about your background because you have this rich legacy of expertise. I mean, obviously born in Tokyo and a lot of work in the machine tool industry, and then foundationally building the lean consulting company that led to Esprova. And so I'm going to let you take it from here now, and tell us what brought you into this field, and your passion for the field, your interest, and some of the great results that you
Mm.
see with companies.
Okay. Well, actually, I worked for Japanese machine tool company, and then um, middle of 80s, they sent me to Germany as an engineer for advising and giving a technical support of their customers, mostly automotive industry. Then after some years, uh, my old friends actually they were a very famous consultant in Japan called me and they need some power to help to help their consultancy in Germany, especially to support a sports motor vehicle company Porsche. And that was the beginning of my career to focus on to the lean consulting system. Then somehow they told me that I should establish my own company and you should work for them full time, etc., etc. Then I did it, and then from middle of 90s I established my own company. So then actually the support for the Porsche was very successful. We actually consulted, I don't know, maybe more than 10, 15 years long. This was my start of career of the lean consultancy. Yeah.
Well, KJ, you must have done a very, very good job with Porsche because they're making a world-class product today. I
Yeah.
actually own one, and it
Oh,
is
okay.
it's absolutely amazing, what they do and how revered that product still is.
Yeah, you're welcome. So then maybe regarding the Asprova, it is so why I established the company Asprova in Germany and then later on in USA is that whenever you do a lean consultation, so you know that lean means that produce the product with less and minimum waste. So you need to achieve a high level of the process synchronization. And in order to achieve that, you need a very good production scheduling. And then, of course, we use a Kanban system or scheduling board, etc., etc. But as you know, that most of the company produce quite various complicated products and having a lot of parallel running process. So having a simple production, let's say board, whiteboard, or kind of a visual system, or a simple Kanban system, it does not help. So then, that was the start of the Asproba business. Yeah. Mhm.
So, KJ, I have to ask you that so much of this is foundationally built on lean, and I grew up in an era where the Toyota production system was very, very prominent, and it was the benchmark, common bill of
Mhm.
process, common bill of material, uniformity all over the world. And I thought this was the big buzzword back in the 80s. And people would today, and maybe you can add some color to this, lean. People sometimes think this is a thing of the past, and we now talk much more about digital transformation and
Mm.
Industry 4.0. And
Mm.
but these lean principles are still very, very prevalent in building superior manufacturing and having world-class manufacturing with less waste,
Mm.
great
Mm.
inventory management, better, optimization of your balance sheet. Uh, so can you talk about this, world of lean and digitalization and how
Mm.
this
Mm.
intersects, or does it intersect, and
Mm.
why companies today should really think about this?
Okay. Yes, actually, as I said, lean means actually to have less waste, and there are a lot of waste. Maybe as you know that Mr. Taiichi Ono, founder of the Toyota Production, said that there are seven kind of waste, mudas, etc., etc. But in fact, actually, even that today, the world-class company like Toyota, who has a very short production lead time from creating the cast iron, then manufacturing engines, piston block, blah, 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 till the final assembly. They have worldwide the most efficient and who has also the shortest possible production lead time to manufacturing cars. Hey, today that their value added time in whole entire production lead time is only 0. Few percent. Yeah, that means even at Toyota, more than 99% of the lead time is the stagnation of the material, mostly VIP, work in process. So many companies try to improve the efficiency, but unfortunately, they often focus on the micro area. And if you have a total lead time, you have a multiple manufacturing steps. And if you really try to improve the efficiency, of course, you need to improve the efficiency of the whole the micro area. But if you do only this or this, maybe lead time in this micro area gets shorter, but this doesn't have almost any effect to shorten the total lead time at all. And as you know, that today the material cost is maybe 60 to 84% of the manufacturing cost, variable cost. And actually, to reduce the material cost, to reduce the production lead time, to reduce the stagnation time, has a largest effect and impact to improve cash flow and also to improve your to reduce the manufacturing cost. And as well, if you reduce the lead time, that means your space efficiency get much larger. That means you are able to produce further better output of the factory with the same resources. That is why still lean tema kaizen actually is not finished actually as long as you have a production
So you would
company.
say it's
Kate,
like the foundation, it's really the foundation of a building, so to say. And then you build on top of that with digital transformation and other technologies. But the
Yes,
foundation has to be strong, which is this
yes. You
philosophy.
have to do multiple things, of course, in the shop floor as well, but also in the digital and IT side, you need in multiple side to achieve this high level of the lean. But this supporting the better production scheduling system from IT side is also one of the very, very important measures. Yeah.
Keiji, I find it fascinating. 60 to 80% of the manufacturing cost is tied to the product, to the inventory management, the impacts on the
Yes.
balance sheet.
Yes,
I mean,
material cost, yeah.
this is a C-suite topic. This should be on every board meeting, in every
Yes.
boardroom, because if you
Yes.
optimize this right, you have a bottom line impact that could be tremendous. I mean, you could add 2, 3, 400 basis points of EBITDA to the profit line if you're optimizing this in the proper way, maybe more.
That's right. See the Toyota Group, that's a great company started Kaizen the end of 40s, beginning of 50s. And I visit every year, twice a year to Toyota managers. And they said that for them, the most important KPI is number one, production lead time, and number two, the inventory turn, annual inventory turn. This is two KPIs. It's the most important KPI since the beginning of 50s. So 75 years long, they did not change any KPI. And they
Yes.
said they don't do any benchmark at all. Their benchmark is that these two KPI from last month. This is their benchmark. They're always fighting to improve themselves. And that is what I hear since years from them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really
Yeah,
great example.
yeah,
But I think
yeah,
the light at the end of the tunnel for American manufacturing is you can help them,
mm.
and Esprova can
Yeah,
help them, and AxD can
yeah,
help them, and we are big believers in your technology. And the fact
mm,
you've made it to this podcast is very exclusive, so we don't put anyone on
mm,
this podcast. So
mm,
we must really be big believers in what you're doing and
mm,
your
mm,
technology and your expertise,
mm,
and
mm, mm,
I think it could really help American manufacturers. And it's a really critical time in America right now, right? We have uh, such a geopolitical environment where we want to produce more in this country, and there'll be a price to pay if you do not produce in this country, and that's all being
mm,
worked out by the administration. But I think in time it will get worse, meaning that if you are exporting everything back into the United States, and I mean there'll be prices to pay for it. So companies are really focused on producing in close proximity to their markets and their customers, and
mm.
and this is, and I think production planning and scheduling and these concepts of lean and all that your capability
Mm, mm,
is going to be very, very critical
yeah.
going
Mm.
forward. When you think of the biggest challenges that these processes have on the shop floor today, what do you feel they are? Are they different in the United States than they are in Japan and Germany?
Mm,
Or
no.
would you say that they're similar?
No, I mean, of course, in Japan, as there are very different type of level. Maybe Toyota Group is a very high level, and they are normal level as well. Also in USA, you have also excellent companies, and among excellent companies, mm, they have quite very they achieved a quite good level regarding the 5S, regarding the standard work, training of the operators, etc., etc. They're quite good. Maybe maybe in detail, maybe in order to reduce the production lead time, you need to reduce more production lot size. Then in order to achieve this one, then you need to reduce the setup time of machine, etc. You need to do those work continuously. But some of the US company actually achieved a quite good level already. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's I can say. Yeah.
And how do you think about the labor force? I mean, much like Japan, I mean, America, we have an aging labor force today in
Mm,
manufacturing, that the
mm,
boomers, the boomers as we call them, they will
mm,
move out of the workforce, and you have more
mm,
tech savvy
mm,
people, more millennials
mm,
coming in, and this will
mm.
dominate the manufacturing airwaves now.
Mm,
And
mm.
obviously, we'll be doing a lot more manufacturing in this country if you fast forward a few years from here. So, does this new generation of talent help what you believe that companies need to do and companies need to achieve? I mean, they're more tech savvy, more digital, more uh, they don't hold on to the existing technologies just because they were existing technologies. They're doing it because it's modern, it's what they're used to doing, it's digital, it's simulation, it's all these capabilities that they have grown up with in their daily lives. And is that going to help us, or how do you think about that?
Uh, First of all, maybe I talk about the issue of shop floor, then I come back to the
The workforce.
digital issues. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
First about the workforce in USA, difference between Japan and USA. I think I really have a very good experience. For instance, I have a client in near Chicago. They are the facility of one German company, and they have excellent operators regarding the standardization, regarding the work speed, tempo, etc., etc. Very high morale, and I really have a very good experience there. Maybe not everywhere so, but but this example shows that the American operators are very excellent, capable, even maybe better than Japan. Yeah, but this is my experience. So, and what I want to say is that the efficiency of the operator in the shop floor has nothing to do with the capability of the operator. Actually, it is the issue of the management. And the task of the management is number one, to set the standards. Number 2, to improve the standards. Number 3, train the operators. And number 4, actually keep, let maintain the operators to set the set standards. These are, let's say, 4 main tasks of the managers, and the company where maybe are not so efficient in the shop floor regarding the operator productivity. It is not the issue of the operator themselves, but it is more, let's say, the maybe more inadequate managers. Sorry about that. So this is the shop floor issue. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then about the digital issue, we are talking, as you said, since maybe 10 years about the Industry 4.0, then since 4-5 years talking about digital factories and smart factories, etc. And there are many modern tools, simulation tool, MES system, and warehouse management system, etc. But in the area of the production planning, production scheduling, detailed scheduling, and for the long-term planning, still, I say almost 100% in USA, the company is doing scheduling with the Excel sheet manually,
Yeah.
with the paper and pencil. Actually, more or less working with the paper and pencil today, and
Yeah.
this is actually the reality.
Yeah. And Keiji, that's a really good statement to highlight, that they're working with with Excel sheets today still, and that highlights a significant gap in the industry, right? I mean, this is where the standardization and robustness of software help for this kind of scheduling and this kind of advanced production scheduling. And I think that will be addressed by the workforce, right? Because I think the new era coming in, some of them don't even use Excel. Some of them use, Chat GPT as their vehicle to do what they want in Excel, but don't know anything about Excel, but they're getting the same output. So they're using all sorts of sophisticated tools in AI and machine learning to be able to do this. So I think it's going to even accelerate what you're doing. And then I'm going to ask you one final question here. So you have this incredible technology with Asprova, right? And we know it as AxD. We know that it's outstanding. I mean, we've lived with it, worked with it, and understand it, and deploying it all over the world. And what do you need to penetrate the U.S. market? Why, there's a huge need, not enough expertise, not enough people like you, not enough people with the capability that you and the Asprova software bring to the table. No.
And
And
before KG answers, I also want to add another challenge. When we talk to customers, it's really challenging to convince them that there's a concept called APS and it is different from ERP, and how ERP has not yet reached the manufacturing shop floor. Yeah, it's very good with supply demand forecasting, sales, procurement, employee data, but not so much with production data. So on one side, there are companies who are handling the production planning with MS Excel. On the other side, there are those who believe ERP is enough, or they try for years to do their planning with ERP. So yeah, how do we really penetrate the US market from that aspect?
Yes, actually, I need quite a long explanation about that. Okay, I come back to your answer, but one of the biggest problem in the U.S. market is that whenever I come to the company to visit them, see them, then I ask them what is the most important KPI. Most of them still, they say that our most important KPI is at OEE, overall equipment efficiency. And this actually leads to the catastrophic result because number one, you have not such a simple product today. You have a multiple parallel running process, and each process, one parallel running process, you have a multiple production steps, and you have a different process cycle time. So if you push in to achieve a high overall efficiency that the machine should run all the time, then actually you have a huge production lead time with a huge stagnation time. This is the worst management system that they should stop immediately.
Keiji, this is
And
exactly
yeah,
why I brought you on this podcast to educate these people, because this is a very big buzzword in American manufacturing, OEE. And I'm glad you're highlighting this, because there are few experts in the world that are able to talk about this and improve it. So thank you for giving us that important
no
insight and why.
problem. No
So,
problem.
for
Yeah.
example, when you talk about this issue, I imagine it like this, that, okay, there's like a precision milling operation. Let's say it takes 30 seconds, and the engineers are really focused on bringing it down to 20 seconds. That's okay, 10 seconds saved. But on the other hand, there's a bottleneck, or there's inventory piling up there for 1 hour or 2 hours. And production planning can actually reduce that to, let's say,
Yes,
15
yes,
minutes.
yes,
That's a big
yes,
difference, and that's a very
yes.
different perspective of
Yes, that
planning.
it is true. Yes, and as you know that the let's say ultimate high level of the lean production system is the just in time, and which means that produce only what is needed, produce only when it is needed, produce only the amount which is needed. And Mr. Taiichi Ono, founder of the Toyota Production System, said in the 50s, stop machine if not needed. On only the bottleneck machine should run. Yeah. So this is a very important teaching. Never OEE focused management. Only machine should run when it is needed. And this is actually the one secret of lean production. But the other side, of course, when this bottleneck process should run and when other process before and process after should run. This will be determined by the production scheduling system, etc. But first, for waste, what actually Mr. Taiichi Owner pointed is mostly caused by the inadequate production planning system. Yeah, I would say 70-80% of the largest portion of the waste of the factory are produced by inadequate production planning. So I come back to the questions of Maithili regarding the ERP capability, and is a very important tool for entire factory to have a common information for all the department, starting from sales and engineering till any other department of the. But it does not have a so high, let's say, level of the algorithms, and especially I would say for the production company is that very important to have a accurate MRP calculation, yeah, to reduce the inventory. And actually, doesn't matter which ERP system the production company has, SAP or Oracle or Sage or whatever. The output of the MRP calculation of the ERP system is very much incorrect. Yeah, with some reasons. And number one, that ERP system calculate MRP calculation, number one, with the infinite capacity of the resources. Number two, they actually do they actually calculate master production scheduling, the timing, the reference timing of the MRP calculation with the fixed production lead time. And production lead time, even though you produce the same item, same amount, but it is always vary due to the load of the process load availability or material availability, and you can never fix the reference timing through the fixed lead time. So due to these two major mistake, the output of the MRP is often not only plus minus few days, plus minus weeks, sometimes plus minus some months wrong. Yeah. As a consequence, you have number one, very high inventory, and in the same time you have consistently missing parts. Actually, it's a contradiction. You have a high inventory, you should have enough material, but because the MRP calculation is wrong to the direction of plus and minus, you have both problems. And this is not the strong point of the ELP system.
Yeah.
To your question, yeah.
KG,
Yeah.
so right in line with what you just said. So I
Yeah.
have one final question, and then we are going to
Yeah.
have to close the interview. And but can you give me a simple answer on the question? What do you think the average manufacturing company in America could save when you deploy
Okay.
Esprova in its highest capability? And it's done. Let's just assume it's an average. I mean, and I know obviously savings depends on the size of the company, but I'm just saying in generally in percentage points. Would you see a 2 or 3 percentage point improvement in the profit line if they really optimized waste and material planning was super efficient and they were doing what you think benchmark is in production scheduling?
Of course, right. Of course, it's depending on what's the starting point. Yeah. But what I can say is, by most of the Sprova users, and within, let's say, 18 months, reducing the production lead time to half and reducing the inventory to half and double the inventory turn is very, very common. Yeah, very common. So improving their cash flow quite a lot is very, very common. And of course, you have to improve also the number of the EBITDA as well. But first, really, management should really focus on reducing the lead time, reducing the waste, reducing the stagnation time, reducing the inventory, because the inventory actually include all type of the waste. Actually, the cost of the operators, cost of the space, cost of the many other things, energy, etc., etc. If you really reduce the inventory, accordingly, you also increase the productivity of the direct productivity area and also the indirect productivity area as well. And then
Yes.
EBITDA is getting better and better. So first you have to really focus on, as Toyota, number one KPI, production lead time, number two, inventory turn, I would say. And as I said, to improve this to double or to reduce to half. So this is very, very normal, very normal.
But
You can go, yeah, yes, go, please.
but a very big impact if these two things are done right, and
yes.
if technology is deployed properly, and if these two items are done right, and it's amazing that this concept still endures 60, 70 years later, from as Toyota pioneered this and talked about it. So I just think it's a good refresher for American public company CEOs and any global CEOs on why this is so important. So KG, I assume that you're going to be a busy guy after this podcast, because a lot of people are going to be wanting to get in touch with you. and Maithili also AxD, who is really one of the big implementation partners here, amongst many other things that it does. So my assumption is that people will be very, very intrigued by this conversation, and they know that it's going to have a bottom line impact. It may make it to board levels, and boards may be very interested to see how they can get this implemented quickly. And I know it's not a painless journey. There's
Yeah.
always work to be done in this, but I want to say thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your expertise, your insights, your deep, profound knowledge, and I feel great that we've had you on the podcast, because I think you gave us some very valuable insights on how to think about production scheduling.
And also,
Thank you
I
very
want
much.
to add that, today we heard all about lean manufacturing, the philosophy behind it, how Asprova APS is a global leader in that field. And that's
Mm,
where we as AXD come in.
mm,
I think
mm,
it's our prime duty to make
mm,
sure
mm,
that
mm,
our customers get comfortable with the software. They understand the lean
mm,
philosophy behind it,
mm,
which we learned
mm,
directly from you,
mm,
KG.
mm,
Um,
mm,
and yeah, we aim to support
mm,
them throughout the journey, to help them understand the
mm,
importance
mm,
of APS
mm,
to
mm,
maintain it well.
mm,
So
mm,
yeah, it's a very
mm,
promising prospect for AXD
mm,
to
mm,
partner with
mm,
Asprova.
mm, mm,
We
mm.
really look forward to maintaining this partnership.
Good, thank
Yeah,
you. So KG, the
you're
the
welcome.
the point is they should start now.
Yeah,
The
that's true.
technology can be
Yeah,
deployed, and it's not as
yes,
complex, but it has
yes,
to be done,
really.
and it will have big impacts
That is true.
with
So stop Excel and planning with the paper
exactly,
and move to
exactly.
the
And stop talking about
capability.
OEE, right? That's
Yes.
another big thing. Yeah, got it. KG, thank you so much. It's a great
You're
pleasure to have
welcome.
you here today,
Yeah,
and
thank
look
you.
forward to working with you. Take care.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, KG. Thank you, Raj.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Maithili.
my
Thanks
TD.
for
Bye
hosting
bye.
this.
Bye
Thanks.
for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Thank you.
This brings us to the end of another fruitful conversation in AXD's podcast. We hope you got some insights into why lean philosophy will help American manufacturing. Thank you for tuning in. We promise to bring you more awesome talks and fresh episodes soon. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, and let us know what you'd like us to cover next. Until then, keep innovating and stay inspired.